Welcome to an episode of the Tailgate Talk, man. This is Teroy, man, the fanatic. We're doing a game day recap. Eagles and Cowboys, week 1. Thursday night football prime time. Eagles raising a banner, man. This is the breaking down the birds, the week 1 recap, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I wasn't that impressed with the Eagles. I mean, I had a feeling the last couple years we kind of started off slow. But I wasn't like, it wasn't a great game. Let's put it like that. It wasn't a great game. I think Jalen Hurts played efficient. I think Jalen Hurts was very good. It was definitely a tight and messy opener. I'm not even going to sit there and hold you. Jalen Carter getting suspended definitely changed everything for the defense. Which allowed Dallas to get the early lead. They started to run the ball. They went up and down the field on us early on. And I felt like it wasn't for the weather delay. It was about to be a shootout, like a 40-point game. With that being said, Jalen Hurts was, I think, 19 of 23 for $152 and then 62 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. So he counted for 210 yards or something like that. It was a good game for Jalen Hurts. We don't win that game if Jalen Hurts is not a quarterback. We lose, and that would have been a complete shit show for Philadelphia. But Adoree Jackson definitely has to go. Adoree Jackson. We got to get rid of Adoree Jackson because there's no way for him to be that bad. CeeDee Lamb with 7 catches, 110 yards. And to be honest with you, it wasn't for the fact that CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball, we might have lost the game. Jake Elliott with a field goal in the third proved to be pretty much the game winner, essentially, when he had that field goal in the third. That really helped us out tremendously. Also, on top of that, man, A.J. Brown, 1 catch for 8 yards. Not necessarily great. I don't love it. But I also know that he has a hamstring injury, so we'll be on the lookout for that. There's a couple plays by the defense where Quinyon dropped the ball. We got to do better on that as well because he shouldn't be dropping the ball if we're going to be 100%. Where he dropped an interception, he's a good corner, great corner, but I need him to start catching these balls. But yeah, until the weather delay, man, with Jalen Carter being out, they was able to run the ball on us. The acquisition of Kenny Clark for the Dallas Cowboys actually did well. They bottled up Saquon, which isn't necessarily a concern, but I would like to see Saquon get going. But I feel like this year a lot of teams are going to try to stop Saquon and force Jalen Hurts to beat him. It worked this game, but the offense is going to have to provide, do better. Dallas scored on his first drive, a 53-yard drive. Javonte Williams was able to punch it in. And then, of course, the Eagles answered quickly. We was led by Jalen Hurts with a rushing touchdown. And then when he had his 2 rushing touchdowns, I screamed tush push. I tweeted, tush push where? If you want to follow me on Twitter, man, not the tailgate one, the regular one, it'll be your fave average show. And then they kept trading shots back and forth in the second quarter. We were able to take the lead before halftime, which included a Saquon Barkley run and then a long deep ball to Jahan Dotson. For everybody that's saying that Jalen Hurts can't throw the deep ball, man, I'm trying to tell you, that's a lie. Jalen Hurts throws a pretty deep ball. And Jahan Dotson embracing that wide receiver number 3 role is going to be key. Is definitely going to be key. With him and Michi there, I like the speed aspect of it. And Jahan Dotson, I ain't gonna lie. I hope we sign him. I hope we re-sign him. Dallas Goedert played well as well. The play of the game for either team was the fumble. First of all, let's break down the sequence. So Miles Sanders had broke a long run. I can't remember how long it was, but a long run. Zach Bond tried to punch it out. It didn't work. And then he tackled him. And the next play, Miles Sanders fumbled. When Miles Sanders fumbled the ball, Quinyon Mitchell picked it up. And when Q picked it up, Dak Prescott made one hell of a game-saving tackle. And After that, the weather delay happened, and because if Dak Prescott don't make that tackle, it's to the house, and it's an easy touchdown. And when that happened, the weather delay happened, and then after that, everything went to a halt. No team could really. There was no scoring from either side. It was a 65-minute delay due to lightning in the third quarter. And after that, you kind of just basically gave the defense another halftime to settle in their rhythm. Dallas did have chances, but couldn't capitalize. They had some stalled drives, and they had a couple drops from CeeDee Lamb down the stretch. I'm saying the Eagles had held firm down the stretch as well. Dak didn't have any picks. He did decent managing the offense. Once again, there was no expectations, but also at the same time, we had like 3 or 4 picks that should have happened. So the game could have easily went different on both sides. I feel like it wasn't for the weather delay, it definitely would have been a shootout for sure. And I don't know if right? The last 2 games of the playoffs, the Eagles put up 50, 55, and 40 points respectively. But I'm not 100% sure. As the Eagles fan, I'm very realistic if that is our identity. I don't think we're a shootout team. I don't think we're going to be putting up like 40, 55 points a game like how Dallas is going to have to this year. Dallas is going to have to put up at least 30 points a game in order to win games because they don't have a defense. I don't think that's our identity. I think we're going to have to throw the ball more, but we still need to establish the run. And Kevin Patullo's first game as the offensive coordinator, not bad. I want to see more. I would have liked it if the first play, instead of they took a deep shot down the field. So that I would have did. I would have took a deep shot down the field. You know what I'm saying? I would have tested Deron Bland with him getting that contract extension. I would have been like, okay, you got this money. Now we're gonna throw this ball down the field to see exactly if you're worth it. That just, you know what I'm saying? And then the second play, maybe run it, or you know what I'm saying, do what you got to do. But that's what I would have done. But it wasn't bad. I'm hoping it gets better and not worse as it did with Brian Johnson, right? We do need continuity there. I do hope it gets better, not worse, as it did with Brian Johnson. Find more rhythm. But Jalen Hurts, man, he played well. Like I said, 19 to 23, 152. I think he had like 4 carries, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Not any touchdowns throwing, so I'm hoping that gets better. But yeah, man, he seemed like he was the only one on the offensive side that was cooking and playing with urgency, in my personal opinion. Like, he did everything that he needed to do. Even had the Jordan shrug after the second rushing touchdown. It was a lot of times where Dallas did a very good job bottling up our receivers, and he was able to make plays with his legs. And I feel like he may be doing more of that this year. I do feel like he may be doing more of that this year. You could definitely see that he was healthy, because you got to remember he had hurt himself in the Rams game. Then he was okay in the Commanders game. Then he played extremely well in the Commanders game. He had the Chiefs game. Eagles players spotlight, right? I would say I want to talk about Jahad Campbell, right? I think the rookie played well. He had a deep pass. He had a pass that he deflected late in the game. Jahad Campbell, as the rookie, played well. I feel like for the first time in a long time, this is our this is the first time in a long time we have very good linebackers. So we have Jahad Campbell, we have Zach Bond, we still have Nakobe Dean when he comes back. Linebacker core is going to be a strength of ours. My concern of the Eagles so far, well, I would say it'd be the defensive line, but I'm not that much concerned because Jalen Carter wasn't there, and we, you know what I'm saying, we still have a young defense. We have replaced some players on our front, so that's going to take a little while. But I will give Vic Fangio credit in the second half, of course. But same thing with Dallas. After the weather delay, we didn't get to the quarterback. We didn't sack him, but we pressured the hell out of Dak. Like, he was under duress almost all second half. We just got to get to those sacks. Jordan Davis almost had a sack, and Dak was able to avoid that. I feel like with Jalen Carter, not being there, definitely hurt. I don't think this game is close if Jalen Carter is there. It was one particular play where they were able to stop the run. I mean, they were able to run the ball, and they carried some Eagles defender for like 4 or 5 yards. That don't happen with Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter's a disruptor. Jalen Carter's an impact. With Jalen Carter spitting on Dak, which is unacceptable. He cannot do that. He has to know better. As far as defense wise, it kind of leveled the playing field because you don't have Micah for Dallas, then you didn't have Jalen Carter, who's our best defensive player for the Eagles. And I feel like Dallas was able to take advantage of that because it was kind of like the defense was in shock. Like, you don't have the best players, so you're trying to figure out how in the world are we going to, get through this. And it took, I would say, Vic Fangio about a half. You know what I'm saying? And then after the half, really to the lightning delay. After the lightning delay, he kind of figured out what to do to kind of, mitigate Dak Prescott and the running and passing attack. Because they was moving. I was getting worried. Not going to lie to you. They was moving the ball up and down the field, up and down the field, up and down the field on us. So, that's something that we got to focus on. But Leonard Dickerson got hurt, so you know what I'm saying. Hopefully he will be okay. The next man up. Will Shipley got hurt. So yeah, that's 6 to 12 weeks. Will Shipley, that's going to hurt. So we're probably going to have to rely on AJ Dillon. We did trade for Tank Bisbee, so maybe that works as well. I would like to see John Mechie involved a little more. I know he's still new. I'd like to see John Mechie involved a little more. Not gonna lie. And overall, it wasn't a great game by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but we got the job done. I don't want this to be like the year after we won the Super Bowl where it was just like, we don't play well, but we just win. I want us to repeat. And I'm not saying I want us to dominate, but I definitely want us to play better than what we did. We have to play better than what we did if we're going to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Green Bay getting Michael Parsons, they're going to look very good. I'm curious to see what the rest of the NFC looks like. But, I'm happy the Eagles got the win because it would have been extremely difficult to lose to the Dallas Cowboys first game of the season after our opening banner, after our banner night. But it didn't look good when we played we remember when we won the Super Bowl the last time we had to play the Falcons. It did not look good. And we didn't look good for most of that season. But we got hot over near the end of the year. So I'm hoping that, we play better. I would like to see Saquon, because I don't think Saquon's going to have another 2,000-yard season, but if he can have like a 1,700 yards, and Jalen Hurts can have about like 3,200 passing yards, I would say about like maybe like 25, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, I'll be okay with that. And if he has like, let's say, rushing touchdowns, including tush pushes, 10, like, let's just say like 15 touchdowns rushing, so that would give him like 40 something, over 40 for the year. I would be okay with that. I would be perfectly fine with that. I was very impressed Jalen Hurts running the 2 touchdowns and not the tush pushes, because everybody feels like, the tush pushes are cheap touchdowns, but to see him run with his legs like he did versus the Rams for that touchdown, like, yeah, man, that was a good sign. And then Barkley, I would like to see Barkley involved more in the passing game as well this year. If they're going to try to shut down the run, I would like to see Barkley involved more in the passing game. But, yeah, man, overall, if I had to give them a grade, I would give the Eagles a C- because I know they could play better. I would give Jalen Hurts an A. I think Jalen Hurts is the reason why we won that game. He had to do a lot. People say Jalen Hurts can't carry the offense, but I feel like Jalen Hurts carried the offense today. Because if he did it, we don't win this game. So I think Jalen Hurts played extremely well for what he was, for the circumstances of the game. We got to play better. next game, and I think that we will. Next game is against the Chiefs. It's going to be interesting. Super Bowl rematch in Arrowhead. Why we always got to play them? And the last time we played them in Philly, bro, was when Andy Reid came into town. We had Mike Vick. I think it was like either Doug Peterson's first year. No, Chip Kelly's first year, right? Why are we always playing them Why are we always playing them in Kansas City? We just played them in Kansas City. We're the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? We're the defending champions. Why aren't we playing them in Philly? They always doing them. They always doing us a disservice, bro. We should have played them in Philly. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be I'll get them a C-. We got some things to work on. Like I said, I want to see how the defense looks when Jalen Carter gets back, and then I'll be able to firmly assess how I feel like this team's going to do. I think this team will gel, because you got to remember the defense will gel in the beginning of the year. The defense wasn't playing. It was good, but it wasn't playing as well as it was playing near the end of the year. But yeah, man, Jalen Hurts, another win. What is he, like 15-0, not including the game he got hurt over the last 15 games? It's a very good stat. Nick Sirianni, all he does is just win, man. I would like to see more continuity with the offense with Kevin Patullo, so we'll see how that goes, man. But this is just the weekly recap with the Birds. Breaking down the Birds week 1 recap. I'll see y'all later on this week. I have a NFL full recap with AFCT, my boy Tyler, and then the Eagles, the preview for the Chiefs and Eagles. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Can't do none of that without y'all. Go ahead and follow me, man, on my social medias. Instagram, _tailgate.talk. Email if you have anything you want me to talk about, thetailgatetalkpodcast@gmail.com. YouTube, man, the Tailgate Talk Podcast. If you go on my TikTok, you go look at the link above. You'll see the YouTube. Subscribe to that. Twitter, _tailgate TLK, and then my TikTok, the Tailgate Talk Pod. Yeah, so the Twitter's been doing really well. I just need that to convert over to my YouTube subscribers. I have 5, so help me get up to more than that. All right, man, it's the Fanatic. I'm out of here. Peace.